Hi guys, Shaky Nan again. Yes, it is me. I'm not in my shirt today. I'm actually going to do an experiment. On Christmas Day, when I came on and had an alcoholic drink with you, I didn't have my shirt on. I was out on our veranda with no Shaky Nan things around me. And I've had comments about drinking and stop drinking and it won't, and you won't shake, and is that because of alcohol abuse? And I haven't had any of those comments for a long time since I've been wearing my Shaky Nan clothes all the time. And for the last couple of years since I started Shaky Nan, I have basically worn my clothes every day. Even to go down the shops, I wear it. And if someone looks at me, I just pray that I think to myself, hope you're reading the shirt. And I'll even turn my back to them so they can read it a little bit better. And that gives me the confidence. Now, because of that video, those questions from non-ETers now, they do not worry me at all. And people have said, because I did reply to one of the comments, and I said, thank you very much for your comment. I'm sure there's a lot of people wondering that. And I'd like to explain, and people were saying you were very gracious with your reply, but it's because it's not known. Those comments hurt more coming from ETers than they do from non-ETers now. And with my shirts on and with my Shaky Nan poster things around my room, they can read what it is. They can read it's a condition. But the day I wasn't in my office and didn't have my shirt on, I got those comments again. So I thought I'm going to do a bit of experiment. For the next couple of weeks, I'm not going to wear my shirts. I'm going to see if it's the shirts that give me the confidence as well. I've got my cards that I had made back in the beginning. I'm Shaky Nan. Help me spread the ET word, essential tremor. And I'll hand them out if I need to. But I want to see whether it's the shirts that give me the confidence, and also without the shirts on my lives, especially my TikTok lives, building my little miniature houses, I'll see how many comments I do get. So we're going to do a little bit of an experiment. But what I'm on here for today is the International Essential Tremor Foundation in Kansas, in the US. They have, they have the foundation for essential tremor. And if you donate to them any small amount for the year, you can get this Tremor Talk magazine quarterly a year. So being in Australia, it takes me a couple of months to get mine, but I've just received my October edition. So we're a couple of months late having a look at it, but let's have a look what's in these magazines. And I tell you what, to get a magazine that's all about ET is just amazing. And to read what they've got coming up for us, and also to read that, so how I feel about that is normal, is a great thing too. So first is the Executive Director, Patrick McCartney, and he gives his little update in the beginning. And then the first story is, why is it so difficult to find genetic causes in a condition frequently familial? And it does say, while more studies are needed, the purpose of printing this article is to show that research is happening in this area. So at least they're looking into why it can be hereditary in a lot of cases. Then there's a story on the SteadyWear 2 device, the one that I did show you a couple of months ago. I'll have to do another video on that one day soon. Coping with the emotional aspects of essential tremor. Now this is an interesting story, and some of the paragraphs, ET is an action tremor, and therefore the physical disability from ET can involve handwriting or drawing. What of the cartoonist or the surgeon who really depends on his hands for delicate work? Surely to fail in your vocation because of ET is more than just embarrassing. There are settings in which public eating is mandatory. Some must avoid soups, or some must hold a coffee cup with both hands, and food spills sloppily from a fork. Since our ears are much attuned to picking up anxiety, anger, or dishonesty in a voice, a quivering voice can be interpreted as anxiety. I mean, that just makes you think, oh, yeah, that's all of me. Then there's the annual report. Their virtual education events that they have on their webpage. So look up their webpage. I've pinned it up the top of this. Their 2022 research grants were awarded. Bringing a Central Tremor Centre stage. Gillian Mars, she was into pageants and started shaking. Thought she was nervous, but knew she wasn't. Then she got the diagnosis in July last year. So now in her pageants, she's talking about essential tremor and bringing ET into the pageant world, which is wonderful. 4 students were honoured the Catherine Rice Scholarships, which are for ET people. The scholarships are for a comparison of ET and Parkinson's disease. Now this is interesting too. Parkinson's, I'll say Parkinson's and I'll say ET. So high amplitude, lower, slower frequency for their tremors. ET, low amplitude. Amplitude is more variable, ranging from barely perceptible. I was trying to stop my head from shaking. The letters were going all over the place. Perceptible tremor to a high amplitude tremor. Higher, faster frequency. Mostly seen at rest for PD, ET, mostly seen during action. Generally involves slow movements, rigidity, and problems with walking or balance. Tremor is the primary symptom. Slowness, stiffness, and walking and balance problems are not commonly seen. Rarely a family history, under 10%. Family history of tremor reported in the majority of patients, greater than 50%. Resting and postural tremor observable after mean latency of 5 seconds, rarely kinetic. Postural, kinetic. Postural tremor immediately observable, resting tremor less common. Onset generally at ages between 55 and 65. Onset most commonly in middle age, but can occur at any time in the lifespan. Usually starts on one side of the body and progresses to the other side. Usually remains asymmetrical. Usually affects both sides of the body. Bilateral, symmetrical. No effect on consumption of alcohol. Alcohol often improves tremor. Usually improves with levodopa treatment. Improves with primidone and propranolol in some cases. Hands affected more than legs, voice and head almost never affected. Hands predominantly affected, but tremor also present in the head and voice. Rarely in the legs. Oh, my legs are going now. Worsens with emotional stress, worsens with emotional stress. The IETF Legacy Society. Tune into the podcast series that they have on their webpage, their memorials and honorariums with and the President's Club with gifts for over 1,000 or more annually. And then all their support groups. Now, they say there's over 70 ET support groups around the world, guys. So reach out. There may be one near you. There may be one in your area. If you're looking to get this magazine, I've put their webpage up the top for the International Essential Tremor Foundation. I'm in Australia and I get this, so they send it to anyone all over the world. And as I said, it's great to look up a magazine that's all about us and lets us know what's happening for us. So hopefully soon, hopefully soon. All right, guys, have a great shaky week. As I said on Friday, I'm going to replay one of my original videos and you will see the lack of confidence back then. And as I said, I'm going to not wear my shirts for a couple of weeks and see if that's what's given me the confidence and see how many comments I do end up getting in the next couple of weeks with not wearing them and not showing shaky Nan around, and see if the comments start coming in again. All right, guys. Love you all. Take care, stay safe, and have a great shaky day. Bye.